Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth with Eden and Kim, shifting you into higher consciousness, the show that elevates, uplifts, and encourages listeners to grow, heal, awaken, and evolve. Eden and Kim include bold topics, special interviews with inspiring guests, intuitive readings, channeled messages from beyond, including celebrities, hot topics to expand your awareness, and time for questions from the audience. Tune in for unprecedented truth, authenticity, on-purpose discussions, and magical moments.
That's when we start to shut down parts of ourselves. You know, when you shut down parts of yourselves and you don't know yourself, and then, you know, you make decisions that don't actually support who you are, or, you know, you're just ignoring parts that need attention, and then a lot of the times we get sick. You know, the mind-body connection. Yeah, shame is a big thing, and there's a lot of shame around mental illness. It means of this, you know, if you're feeling bad and low, depressed, anxiety, anxious, whether it's, you know, chemical or circumstantial, you know, we feel like there's something wrong with us, and there's nothing wrong with us. And then, you know, all of this self-help stuff, which is important. Yes, let's learn how to love ourselves 100%. But there is a subtle aggression with this constant need to up-level and to fix ourselves and to hack our way to a higher level of something and something. It just, no, get deep, get present.
Right.
Because when people try to say that they have to remain positive all the time,
That's spiritual bypassing. You
yeah,
can't do that.
they're not really
No.
going into what's really causing the pain.
No.
They just want to put a Band-Aid on it by saying, we're positive, I'm always positive.
Which is, I understand that. Who wants to feel fear? Who wants to feel alone and angry and sad and touch down into these really hard to feel feelings, you know, that feel very real and solid and permanent, you know, that's frightening. So, you know, I have a lot of compassion for that. I've done it, I do it sometimes. But the label of positive and negative, good or bad, is very limiting. So,
Good point.
yeah.
Right, and it's
So my husband on the show, Rowan Macklin, he's a black man, and we don't really talk about mental illness in the black community. I mean, we're just not doing it, you know, globally, period. But a lot of communities of color, particularly the black communities, airing our dirty laundry is just not a thing.
I know the man who plays his father on the show doesn't want him to talk about his feelings at all. His son, he's a little bit against it.
Well, I think there's, especially from that generation, but our culture has done a major disservice to men in terms of, you know, allowing them to be vulnerable as a feeling, and being vulnerable is makes you weak.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're just now evolving from that. But, you know, his father's from a generation where that was just not a thing. And then to be, you know, black is also.
right. And you guys have on the show, there are experts that come
Yeah,
in
yes, we
and
do.
talk about different things, like, and help you on the show.
Barbara Van Dalen, who to not know how to do it, and to admit that I didn't have the confidence, and that I was really, you know, insecure about it. That's what was going on for me. It was just, you know, and so once I got real with myself, I just.
Wow, and it's so brave that you admit that, and I think that's so refreshing for so many people, because they feel, especially in that industry, it's like, oh, well, I have to have it all together, and I have to, like, do all these things, and, like, it's like you built up your foundation, so that by the time it was time to do this, you attracted this big show, because you had built your foundation so strong. That's amazing.
And you did it because you wanted to.
Because I
not
wanted
because
to.
your dad wanted you to.
I mean, there might be some, like, subconscious thing in there, who knows, but yeah.
Daddy proud. We all want that.
I mean, he's so proud, it's really sweet, but I think why I love acting is just because it's a way for me to just explore all the different parts of myself and other people, and express things that I don't readily have access to on a daily basis until I'm actually diving into something, exploring something. And it's a really great way to kind of confront your ego, because to me, you can't really have a big one when you are trying to be something else, someone else. You have to get out of the way. I have to, at least, you know, in the moment, in scene to scene work, you know, just let go of my notions of how something should be, or how I look, or what I sound like, or how my body's moving so that I can be present to somebody and open my heart to them and feel the circumstances, you know. And so if I'm too concerned about myself, nothing else gets in. And that's that's just a constant
Well, it's
battle.
working because you do so well on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, yes.
So you guys,
I just don't get it. But, you know, but how did it come through? It came through,
Yeah.
they were just saying.
Your grandfather came through
Yeah.
and he said something about a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he said it was something about you needed to
Basically,
look at it,
follow my
embrace
heart.
it,
Embrace,
yeah. Mhm.
Like whether I get it or not is not the point. It's just to don't question the things that bring you joy.
Yeah,
And
because, he said, recognize how that truck made you feel when you saw it on the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
And it brought up so many emotions for her that were like good memories.
Yeah.
And it was just showing her that, see, you can still have those feelings and hold on to that.
Yeah.
He was bringing you that
Yes.
feeling.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was watching you
Yeah.
remember him.
yeah, it was wonderful.
I
Yeah.
love that
It was
validation.
really, really wonderful. So we test drove it, and it was fun.
And that was that.
And that was it.
Yeah, you didn't need to buy it.
I know. I thought about it though, but
You can anchor in the feeling.
yeah, exactly.
Aw, that's cool. Maybe if you do another reading, Prince will come in for you.
Oh my God.
You love Prince, huh?
So much.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was just validating things that I have been feeling, and a good reminder to let go and to release, and it's safe to do so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always very beneficial when you're open, you get the most out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
Glenn, you're here. Welcome, Glenn Marsden.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so welcome, and can you first of all, you can say your hellos to Christina, but can you tell us how you got here and how you guys are connected?
Yeah, well, it's so weird actually coming from Australia and meeting you all, and everybody listening to this can obviously hear that I haven't got an Aussie accent because I'm originally from Britain. But in terms of Christina, somebody you're going to meet later, I actually got introduced to Christina through a good friend of mine, AJ Rochester, who heard the huge speech you did on mental health advocacy and sent me through that. I listened to it, started watching the show and saw the whole premise behind suicide and mental health, and then just reached out to you, and never in a million years thought you'd reach back out, and you was like, yeah, I'd love to do it, get behind it, and the synergy, just alignment, then with you guys, and here we are today.
Right.
So yeah,
So cool.
off the plane, straight
Well,
here.
yeah, and I mean, a lot of the listeners have heard us through the past probably 15 episodes talking about the Imperfectly Perfect Campaign, and for years now, Eden and I have been feeling called to work with some sort of mental health or suicide awareness, and we weren't sure who, and we just kept getting that calling and feeling, and when Jeremy Jackson was on the show, he mentioned that he was working with Glenn, and we just had this spark where we felt like, oh my gosh, that's the one we're supposed to work with, and we started getting messages, and so it just happened, it feels like it just happened so effortlessly and naturally, like a flow.
Yeah, you messaged us,
Yep.
or me, us on the Talk Purpose and Truth page on Instagram, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's messaging us. Because we were trying to put
This
it
is
out
what
there
we're supposed to be doing.
to
It's
get you.
confirmation.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were so happy.
And now we've probably had maybe 40 hours of calls and messages and meetings.
Exactly. So it doesn't feel like, it feels like I've known you for about 10 years.
Yeah.
It does.
Like, it doesn't-
And there's been a lot that's already happened. I mean,
Yeah.
just with reaching out to the public and making connections and helping, we've gotten mail from people in Canada and India and other states, and
Just got
saying
one
thank
today
you.
from the Netherlands today.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people saying thank you for addressing these topics that are so scary to
Yes.
address, and I feel like you get me, and it's life changing.
Yeah, I think because the whole premise behind it is it's showing that mental health does not discriminate. It doesn't go against religion, race, how much money you've got, anything. We all struggle. Any strain of mental health isn't less or more important than the other one. So with this campaign, it doesn't encapsulate or segregate one certain strand of mental health, and I think that's what people are connecting to. And then when people look at it, and one of the aims was to disrupt social media, because whilst we see the government and everybody putting campaigns out, they're not really paying attention to, especially where our kids' attention is, which is social media.
Right.
So as we're scrolling through there, if we can disrupt it by these images of influential people, then we're getting somewhere. And what we're seeing is there's a lot of people from all over the world that is touching and they're connecting to it. So for that,
Christina
I'm
is
grateful for.
one of them.
Yeah.
For more information on Eden, go to edensuston.com. For more information on Kim, go to kimlifecoach.com. Make sure to follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Talk Purpose and Truth Podcast. If you loved this episode, you'll love every episode. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thank you for listening.